25 years ago, you set the pace, opening our eyes to marketing trends that enabled us to understand media and clients' behavior. As the digital age unfolded, you upped the ante by introducing tools and strategies that monitored trends, analyzed media and audience behavior, giving market insights in real time. The media marketing landscape was reborn. You led while others followed, painting everywhere red with professionalism, precision, and passion. Thank you at Mediareach OMD for 25 years of game-changing innovation that is shaping our understanding of events and making the media market better. Congratulations from your friends.
What Mediareach is doing today is what is needed in an industry. This is what is needed in an industry that defines the industry. Audience measurement, consumer intelligence is what defines an industry.
Mediareach OMD, guiding us into the light.
All right, OMD is indeed guiding us into the light. I would like to have you know today that this event is a celebration as March 2024 marks the 25th anniversary of the founding of Mediareach OMD Nigeria. So happy silver anniversary OMD Nigeria. Please give a round of applause to celebrate OMD Nigeria. Okay.
Thank you very much for being here. Our media partners, I think the most important thing of this conversation is that if you don't have good media partners, you won't be anywhere. So thank you for being part of this experience. The press, if we do everything and the press don't amplify it, we won't be anywhere. So thank you for the press. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It is with a great pleasure to stand before you at this moment, a moment that marks a new chapter of our journey of continuous innovation and forward thinking. I think as Mediareach, if we don't think ahead of the curve, we won't be where we are today, 25 years out. Since inception, Mediareach OMD has consistently been a trailblazer, leading the evolution of media and advertising practices in Nigeria and across West and Central Africa. Our contributions have always gone beyond our growth, reflecting our enduring commitment to playing a visionary role in shaping the future of this industry. Many years ago, we pioneered, I think, I'm privileged to be part of this experience. We pioneered scientific data-led media planning. We initiated and collaborated to set up the industry's first syndicated database, ARMS and Diaries, which led to the development of tools like MediaStar and Zipline. You will agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that these tools set new standards for transparency, accountability within the advertising and media planning landscape. Until today, the science of media planning is still the core for a game-changing narrative in our industry. We also launched the renowned OMD Academy. The good news about OMD Academy is that I'm a disciple of OMD Academy, a training ground that has shaped some of the industry's brightest stars and accomplished marketing executives who now serve across various sectors, not only in Nigeria, but also globally. Our relentless spirit led us to play a significant role in developing the government-led National Audience Measurement Project. May so rest in peace. Tolu was the chairman of that committee, and hopefully the result of that committee will yield a lot. I always say advertising ratio to GDP is very low in this part of the world. I think we can grow it as an industry, and that's a major step that the government has taken to drive that conversation. Today, more than 2 decades later, our culture of innovation remains the engine that drives our ambition. shaping how we work. More than 2 decades later, our culture of innovation remains the engine that drives our ambition, shaping how we work, how we deliver value to our clients, and how we continually fulfill our promise of aiding them in making marketing decisions faster. On behalf of Mediareach OMD, this culture has manifested in a revolutionary tool that merges our vast experience, over 25 years experience, with the future of consumer intelligence. This tool is designed to bring you closer to your audiences and help you unlock relevant and actionable insights with flexibility and speed. Those are the key operating words for us because the recency of data is very, very important to drive the change that we make. Above all, it embodies our continued promise to enable our esteemed clients to understand the consumers even better and maximize return on investment. This product is a result of over 2 years of hard work and investment in partnership with Goldmyne, our trusted research partner. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense pride, fulfillment, and excitement I present our latest innovation, the OMD Consumer Intelligence, as we celebrate our 25th anniversary. OCI, to be honest, is not just a product. It is a commitment to you and the future of consumer intelligence. Enjoy the launch. Experience the best way you can as we unpack today's event for your pleasure. Thank you very much for celebrating.
Masters in Business Administration. He has lived and breathed sales and marketing from New Delhi to Jaipur, from Mumbai to Dusseldorf, Germany. Today, he is the Chairman Managing Director at Henkel Nigeria, an organization with a strong partnership with Mediareach OMD. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm applause as we make welcome Mr. Rajat Kapur.
The first thing I have to do is thank Stephen for solving a large amount of technical glitches and then playing Russian roulette with the microphone. Yeah? So that's a good place to start. So my name is Rajat Kapur. I work for Henkel and I've been working with Henkel for the last 16 years now, largely in Germany and then for the last couple of years or actually now more than a couple of years in Nigeria. So that's a bit about me, and I guess Stephen, and I would like to thank the OMD team for inviting me here, especially Stephen, Promise, Yinka, and the entire team. I guess because of our German organization heritage, if anyone can say we love data and processes, it would be a German company. But nevertheless, so a big thanks to all of you for inviting me here. As I was coming here, my wife of 20 years told me, don't try to be too intelligent, too charming, too witty. Just be yourself. And be your boring self, as she would say. So that's what happens after 20 years of marriage. But nevertheless, the important point is that if you just think about it, what we all want to know is, what are the consumers doing when they are themselves? If you don't kind of just how are they shopping, what are they doing, what are they consuming? And then the question would be, why do I want to know this? And this learning about their habits, what do they want from the market, what do they want from the companies, is the single most profitable way of making a business profitable, us all earning money. It's all dependent on the consumers willing to pay. And on that, you can still say, okay, this is all good, but is this really necessary? And then herein comes the most important part. I think I would love to hear if anybody in the room thinks that the last couple of years have not been challenging for Africa and especially for Nigeria. And the more challenging it gets, the more relevant is the need for information, the need for data, the need to understand which consumers are we targeting, what are they willing to buy, how much are they willing to pay, and how can I reach out to these consumers. So if, as media partners, and I'm sure that a lot of you are even doing a lot of consumer intelligence just to find out what kind of content should I now go and launch for the consumers. People like me who are sitting in companies are trying to figure out what kind of content should I advertise my brands on to make sure that the consumers see my message when it is relevant to them. So in all of this, what is the role of data? You know, we always say in Henkel, that we love spontaneity. We love the entrepreneurial spirit. We love our gut feel, as long as it is well planned. So it's not about spontaneity alone, because imagine if you are running an organization and everybody is working only with their gut feel, it would be quite a nightmare.
Here today at the OCI launch by OMD, I'll just say that I think it's a great product. I think it's a great service that they are launching today. Data is something that organizations, everywhere really need. We want to be able to communicate effectively with our consumers, and to do that, we need to know more about the consumers to be able to create solutions that that they really need and not what we think that they need. So, a platform like OCI that gives us data, knowing exactly what the consumer is thinking, is a good one, and I'm looking forward to seeing, to knowing more about it, to maybe using the platform, and at the end, bringing better solutions for my consumers to help them in their daily lives.
How would you define the role of data in driving decision making? Yeah.
Like the managing director said, data is life for us. I typically tell my team, data-driven decision making. Marketing is something that is very subjective, and everybody has an opinion. But I encourage open debates and arguments in my team. So the final judge, or what helps us to take a decision at the end, is always data. So it's very important. I can't overemphasize how important it is. As marketeers, if you are shooting blindly without data, then yeah.
So everybody has an opinion, they say, until they get punched in the face.
Yes.
Right? All right. Brenda, what's the role of data in driving processes, especially on with your clients? The role of data in driving the decisions you make, especially with regards to clients.
Yeah. I go with what Morelua more or less said, but I think the most important thing is that it removes the bias, it removes the personalities, it removes every other thing, and it makes it clear, easily justifiable, and I would say you can stand by it, really. In any situation where maybe you have gray areas or there are interests.
All right, I'll just stay with you real quick. Please do share with me what are those key challenges that marketing people face in collecting, in analyzing, and interpreting data effectively.
Okay, so there's something I always say when I work with my partners, and that is garbage in, garbage out. The first thing with the data is the data source has to be genuine. Whenever I get data, the first thing I say is, what's the source? How was it carried out? What's the panel scope? Is this a true representation of my consumers or my target market? So I think one of the major challenges we have is the source of the data. How was it carried out? And it's very, very key that you are engaging with data that was carried out in a very analytical manner. It wasn't just a random. What was the scope of the research or the focus group? So that's one of one challenge I would say. The second challenge I would say is you also have to put in a bit of cultural lens when you're looking at data. And I say this because, for example, and multinationals will know that when you're working in a multinational, sometimes the data looks alike, but the cultural lens is now what gives you the extra, shall I say, it gives you the extra wisdom to know how to differentiate or how to target your consumers. So the data might, so for example, let me just break it down. If you're in, for example, we're in developing markets, so you can say Nigeria, Kenya, Pakistan, they're all developing markets. The data might look alike, but the cultural reflections there will really make a difference. It's that lens that you put in that makes you know how to apply the data that you have received. So for me, it's just to answer your question in summary. The first one is the source of the data, that's the challenge. And the second one is trying to understand whether there are cultural aspects that drive that data that you have received.
Amazing, thank you so much. Kunle, do you experience similar challenges as Cassandra as stated she does?
Most definitely. The way I'll coin it will be, we all have hypotheses at the end of the day. But with data, you can create a theory which everybody will have to align with. You don't have to agree, but the data will show trends where there's an alignment, and once there's an alignment, the decision can be taken, and it's an informed decision. So without that, we might all just end up making expensive mistakes.
All right, so what is the place, I'd like to stay on with you just for a second. What's the place of, local nuances and the sort of lenses that you deploy, in analyzing this data?
I would say we would basically focus on cultural trends that are skewed to different regions. And the experts in those regions are the ones that then revalidate whatever decisions we're proposing based on the data we've gathered. So at the end of the day, once we put data together, we come up with a hypothesis. The people that are close to the culture in the different regions or channels will then help validate whatever hypothesis will come up with. So that way, informed decisions are taken that are specific to cultural needs.
So we noticed that most advertising messages today do not go through ad testing, right? Because there's always this rush to go on air. Hence, the messages fail to, connect with the consumer. And this affects, the desired results, when such is subjected to a brand, health study. How can organizations now improve the culture of ad testing, and what important purpose does it serve in the overall marketing, comms ecosystem?
Okay, so the first question is, how many Nigerian agencies know how to do proper ad testing? So at GB Foods, our standard typically is the pre-link and the link. Okay, the pre-link is the qualitative, and then the link is the quantitative. What are the challenges or barriers that prevents us from doing that or following the process? Number one is time. You're always running out of time. Okay, by the time you plot, if you do the actual graph to launch, or the timeline, the Gantt chart to launch a campaign, it's almost 12 calendar months. By the time you brief your creative agencies, you do your debrief, you have a revert 1, revert 2, internal alignment, all of that, time is going. When it gets to the timing to do this test, sometimes you could collapse it into one. Most times we will not do a big campaign without doing something. We will always do a test. Whether we do both pre-link and link is also a factor of how strategic is this brand. Can we afford to take a risk and go ahead like this? 1, 2, the timing. Okay. That said, I believe that some of the greatest campaigns have been broken without any test. Why do I say that? Because the way the questions are structured, you get what I mean? Consumers they're not rational. So several times, by the time you come back from your pre-link, where you started from, and that level of creativity, sometimes it drops just trying to get consumers to understand what you're saying. One of the best ads, at least for me, is the Airtel one. You know, the one that was like a series where they were not speaking. And it was clear, it was understood. But if you take that to a pre-link, consumers will say, no, they don't understand. Then you'll be forced to put a voiceover or be forced to put a transcription at the bottom. Invariably, the creativity is lost. So I think that there should be some level of balance so that you do not lose creativity, and at the same time, you're not wasting your money backing up, you know, content that will not go far. So I don't know if this...
Yes, that does answer the question, and I got a bit...
If it's a focus group, we've seen incidences whereby, or we've had occasions whereby online, you can do surveys now online, you run a promotion online, and try and get your consumers' feedback, you know, based on the direction of your creative or what ad copy you want to put on air. So the onus is on the marketing or the communications team to be very creative and say, if we have a budget, then let's go the whole 9 years. Let's work backwards and make sure they were working within a good timeline. And if you're constrained with a budget, look for other creative ways that you can also test that ad. It can be in a focus group. It could be online. Sometimes just, you know, even surveys amongst friends and families, whether you send that to, you know, you use, sometimes we've done that. You just use WhatsApp and we say, okay, these are the questions. Can you send it within your network as far as, you know, as far and wide? It's cheap, it's inexpensive, and you can get some feedback. So be creative with, you know, when those challenges come up, be creative with the solutions, but do not neglect getting some form of feedback from your consumers.
All right, thank you very much, Cassandra. I'll come to you, Kunle. You know, can you share examples, you know, of how, you know, data-driven insights have led to successful outcomes or improvements within your organization?
Okay, so I'll take it back to the paracetamol campaign we ran. So based on data, we found out that consumers, so based on data, we found out that working consumers do not request for our brand. It was more of the pharmacists initiating the prescription based on the molecule. So what does that mean? You work with a prescription and it's written paracetamol. Some shoppers will walk in and say, I want paracetamol. Some shoppers will say, I want paracetamol. It's now up to the pharmacist at the outlet to then say, take this particular one. And we're very scoring quite well on, you know, the pharmacist influencing what brand is picked up. And based on that, a TV commercial was shot, which then emphasized a lot of awareness around the brand name and really positioning the brand as a proper brand and calling out the name. So, and that really helped walking customers saying, I want Omd'S paracetamol every time they go in. So we didn't just rely on pharmacists switching our prescriptions. We then started benefiting a lot more from customers coming in asking for the brand itself.
All right, thank you. I know Brenda wants to speak to ad testing.
I think I want to start a little bit earlier and maybe a little bit of what he said in terms of if you have action-based, you know, actionable insights, first of all, if you don't start from the right premise, then you miss it. If the ads are as a result of actionable insights, then, okay, you first have made the right step.
Okay, so first of all, we get most of our data from agencies that already have this privacy built in, right? So we use the typical consumer agencies like Menta, Menta, Ipsos, Nielsen. They already
First-party data, maybe either online or in-store or anything. We ensure that, you know, all this, our policies are, we follow our policy in terms of collecting only the exact information that we need. So that's for us.
And brands. And when I say categories and brands, it's not just about usage, but also the depth and the width, for example, how frequently, how much, etc., etc. So that's the level of understanding. Now, if you go back and look at this data, which is what we call as quantitative by way of a top-up, I'm able to cross-tab that with media. So, for example, a consumer of maybe antiseptic liquid, we're able to understand from a heavy, medium, light perspective how they're consuming media. Because for me, there is an actionable insight. For example, if I want to reach out to people who are low consumers of a particular brand or maybe a category or whatsoever, I think for the brand, what is important is to grow. So it is basically to tap into not definitely the heavy consumers who use it more often and also use it basically more in terms of quantity, but those light users who can then be converted. Because if I look at my demand map, I would want to convert them into the medium and then the heavy. So there's an actionable insight. And the fourth layer which was created is what we see on the screen over here, which is the qualitative part, which is massive. What it gives is basically an understanding to our people sitting in the comforts of our office to understand what we call as focus group. I'll give you an example. When we wanted to do a focus group for a category in baking, we didn't really get access to the homes, and then we struggled. So there was time, there was knocking doors, getting into their homes, kitchen. Very rarely you'll get an opportunity to be part of it. With this, we've overcome that barrier.
That's very good, very good. We needed a tool like this for advertisers and marketers to work with. And this is a very good, unique tool. And I think it's going to enhance the quality of service delivery at the end of the day for decision making and also getting the brands, properly enthused for people to see. Mediareach is not the small fry that they will just put in something. For them to put their name on this, it shows that they are ready. They are ready. And they are ready. They are really solidly behind it. And most of us too that are advertisers, agencies and all of that, we are ready to support and give them all the back.
I'm the executive director for Africa. I think so. What I think is that this is just a version 1.0 of this product. So you're going to chant with me. I go, oh, you go, oh. I go, C, you go, C. I go, I. Then I go, O-C-I. I go, O-C-I. Okay? All right? Here goes. O, O, C, I. What is it? O-C-I. Woo! Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. Good to see you all here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have it on good authority that the fire sort of blinded you, so we were not able to see your faces, so please.
The first thing is our clients, because at the end of the day, when you're going through a very, very agile expectations, meaning that you need to be as agile as possible. And what changes, you need to be sure that the client's need is at the heart of the conversation. You get what I mean? So what this does is that actually makes the clients understand the consumer better, faster. I think that's I don't know if that answers your question. I think that's basically what it is. I think you check the antecedent. I think we're here to improve, to make sure things get better, to make sure we have cleaner data, to make sure we impact more. And one, our clients will be of great benefit. Secondly, the industry will be of great benefit. I think that's what I would say. So down to your question, yes, it's here to stay. I think you have a platform that makes you understand the consumer better. I think that's what it is, basically. Because instead of waiting for 1 month, 2 months to really get to know what the dynamics around the consumer is across key touch points, you have as low as 24 hours to understand what the consumer needs. I think there are lots of advantages you can take from there. So when I started my job, Excel was a big deal, right? So it feels like if you don't know Excel, you don't have a competitive advantage. Anybody that cares to listen, the fourth revolution is here to stay. Whether you get involved in coding, whether you get involved in any other aspect of tech, you need to understand and appreciate tech for you to be relevant in the fourth revolution. I think that's what I have to say. How you craft it, how you cut and dice it, it's your bit, right? You can decide to say, I really want to understand product development when it comes to tech. If you appreciate and understand it, that's what it is. I really want to know how to code, if that's what the core is. But at the end of it all, the fourth revolution in terms of big data, marketing science, and tech is something that we need to give a lot of attention. As a young lad, I think you need to be relevant in that space. I think that's what I would say. Because it will get to a point where Excel won't be relevant. It will be like automation that becomes the key. If you don't know or appreciate what automation or other aspect of tech comes in, then you become irrelevant. I think that's what I would say.
25 years ago, you set the pace, opening our eyes to marketing trends that enabled us to understand media and clients' behavior. As the digital age unfolded, you upped the ante by introducing tools and strategies that monitored trends, analyzed media and audience behavior, giving market insights in real time. The media marketing landscape was reborn. You led while others followed, painting everywhere red with professionalism, precision, and passion. Thank you at Mediareach OMD for 25 years of game-changing innovation that is shaping our understanding of events and making the media market better. Congratulations from your friends.
We sure hope you enjoyed this video. For more entertaining video content such as behind the scenes of music videos and movies, music concerts, premieres, interviews, and exclusive gists, subscribe now to our YouTube channel GoldmyneTV and be unleashed into a world of super excitement.